Robert Dior, and I'm the professor of percussion at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. Today we're going to go over the district solo for the 2020 district band in North Carolina. This is solo number 10 from Anthony Cerrone's Portraits in Rhythm. This solo is in 9/8, so you want to subdivide your metronome in 3. So in other words, if you put the quarter note on, 69, which is the tempo, you'll put the triplets on, and that'll give you your subdivision like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's important you practice this etude with the subdivision. Now before we get into the nuances of the solo, let's talk about the equipment that you should use. First of all, you should use a concert or orchestral snare drum, the same thing. The difference between these drums and a normal drum set snare drum are basically the snares. So you see here, this is a Pearl Philharmonic snare drum. This has multiple snares. It has some cord, some metal cable, and some curly snares. So you want to make sure you have some sort of cable on there so the drum sounds articulate. This will help you sound a little more professional in your audition. As far as heads go, a Remo Diplomat is a good head to use. Here I'm using a calf head because that's what I use with the orchestra normally. But you're welcome to use anything you want. But the thinner, the better, so you can get maximum sensitivity from the drum. Also, you'll see I'm muffling the drum with a little piece of leather here, and I'm just clipping it on with a regular binder clip. Nothing fancy. Now, I'm in a really live room today, so the drum is a little loud in here. So if that's the case for you, I know that this year all the auditions are going to be done online since we have the pandemic going on. So if you record in a live room, you might want to muffle the drum just a little. If you're in a dry room, don't worry about it too much unless the drum is really ringing uncontrollably. As far as sticks go, you should use a concert stick, which will be a little bit heavier than a normal drum set stick. Here I'm using some sticks that I make. These are zebra wood, and they're about 70 grams. So it's a heavier stick. A normal drum set stick ranges from 45 to about 55 grams. So the extra weight will give you some depth and also some security when you're holding the stick and playing. So let's talk about the etude. Now, I recommend the version of the book that you should buy should be the study guide. So this is really fantastic. There's 2 versions of the book. There's the regular one, which has a red cover, or maybe that's changed, but it's called Portraits in Rhythm, and it just has the etudes. And then there's also the Portraits in Rhythm study guide that has a lot of Mr. Cerrone's comments, which are wonderful. He was a very accomplished snare drummer. He's still alive, but he's retired. He played with the San Francisco Symphony for basically his entire career. So as I said before, this etude is dotted quarter note equals 69. And the first thing you should do when you play it is always try to strive for a feeling of 3, which means every beat, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, is going to have a slight accent. Now, I mean very slight, so almost an emphasis. So let me play you the first 2 lines and demonstrate that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's very simple, and that's the main theme. And then after that, we get into a little development section. Now, the flams there that you saw in line 2 should be done with one hand. Normally in classical snare drumming, as much as you can do with one hand, the more you want to do because of the evenness. So that's very important. And you'll see, except for line 9, I'm going to be doing most of these flams with one hand. And then we go on to line 3. Now this figure is very difficult for a lot of players because they want to play it as triplets. So in other words, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You should be playing that figure, though, as 30-second notes, like this. And the closer, the better. So just squeeze that. Don't make it sound jazzy. Don't make it swing. It needs to be very precise 30-second notes. So let me play these next 3 bars for you from lines 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you see how that's closer. And again, 30-second notes at this tempo is. So you see how fast that is. And then we get to the most difficult part of the solo, which is the second bar of line 4 into line 5. So he takes this rhythmic theme and he embellishes it each time. First time it's clean, next time it's with flams, and the last time it's with drags. That's a very, very tricky spot. So that's line 5, the first bar. And the way I stick that is this. Right, left, left with a right-handed drag. So I'll play that for you slowly. And without the drags, it sounds like this. Now, of course, you have to keep that 30-second note phrasing. So let me play you those 3 bars from lines 4 into 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, you want to keep that 30-second note very tight. And the drags are tricky, so don't fudge them. Just make sure that left-hand note comes out on the and. All right? Then after that, it's kind of smooth sailing for a while. Line 6, just make sure within those triplets, you're playing those 30-second notes tight so they don't sound like triplets. Then line 7, you have some drags and roughs. Now these roughs should be played closed, almost like a roll, but not a buzz roll. So let me play that for you at line 7. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there you hear the difference of the roll, like I played in line 8, from the roughs. So that's how you want to play them. Not, but. Okay, now you're going to need to start the 7-stroke rough early. So you'll start that right on the 3rd beat. So slowly, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully that's coming across on the video. Okay, and then the next section, line 8, we get into some rolls. Now these are all closed rolls. They're not open rolls, so you want to play them like this. And make sure you relax and use your wrists, not your arms. Okay, just let that buzz happen. So let's play that line for you, line 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you see there, all those 8th notes I'm playing with one hand, my right hand. Now line 9, we have kind of a little bit of a rudimental passage. So there's a couple ways to stick this. I am alternating it. You could do it one hand. Okay. I prefer to alternate that there. And then you're getting into some other flam rudiments. So this, again, is a rudimental section. I'll play that line for you, line 9. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right? Finally, we have line 10, the other difficult part of this solo. So it's very fast here. You can't play it doubles like this, but I play it singles because it's a little bit cleaner. And I'll play that line for you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then finally, we, like I said finally before, we get into line 11 to the end. So this is the last part of the solo, and the theme comes back in line 12. Now, once again, just as before, you want to play pianissimo on the edge of the drum. All right, very, very quietly, and play those 30-second notes tight. And then line 12, again, we have the theme coming back. So state it just like you did in the beginning, slight emphasis on each grouping. So let me play those last two lines for you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the last four notes are marcato. So you have those rooftop accents. Don't play them too loud, but just make sure they're louder than anything else in the solo. Okay? So that's solo number 10. And once again, you can do it a little bit slower if you have to, but you should do the tempo at dotted quarter equals 69. So good luck, and we'll see you next year.